Does every good basketball player make a good coach? When you ask a woman if she wants French fries when you're going to McDonald's and she says no, why is it that when you come home with the French fries, she eats all of them? What if you come home with the French fries and then she asks you, I don't like French fries, I wanted you to get a McFlurry, ice cream. Just because someone says they like something, does that mean that's actually what they like? Does what a woman says she wants match with what she's had in the past? If you ask someone a question, are they going to be honest? And how will you know that they're being honest? If you ask a woman, does she like arrogant men? And she says no, she likes confident men. How do you distinguish between confidence and arrogance? Who is better for telling you how to get women? A man who has been with lots of women? A woman who has been with a lot of men? Or maybe a woman who's been with a lot of women? Does a woman being a woman make her understand women? Does a man being a man make him understand men? Does you being you mean that you truly understand yourself? And lastly, is the art of seduction, is it an art of conquest? Or is it an art of cooperation? Or is it an art of conquest where the conquered wants to be conquered? These are all questions that you should ask yourself when tackling the question of whether or not women can teach you how to get women. Ultimately, all of these questions are boiled down to a few very fundamental questions. And so we can go through those specific questions, but ultimately we're asking ourselves, do people really know what they want? Who knows what is wanted? The one who is giving it or the one who is being given? And does being you make you an expert on you? In other words, does being a man make you an expert on men, or being a woman make you an expert on women? So the question with the French fries, if you've ever asked your girlfriend if you wanted to go get food and she said no, and you got the food and you came back and she ate it, you saw a raw example of her in the moment not wanting something. But then when it is in front of her and she can smell it and she can see the golden crispy French fries and she sees you eating them and she sees the joy in your face as you're tasting the French fries, now she wants it. You understand that the context, the emotional context that someone is in, and when it's put in front of them, they're going to want it much more. And so, is their testimony about what it is they truly want, as I posed in some other questions, does it match up with really what they want? If a woman is asked by you, would you ever sleep with a man on the first date? I've seen many comments from girls. I just saw one today. A girl said, if a man tried to sleep with me on the first date, he wouldn't have a second date. Now, the response I wanted to give her, because I saw a picture of her, was, well, I don't think you're gonna have to worry about that, sweetie. However, the answer of do women know what they want depends on her being honest about what has worked on her or what will work on her. She may have slept with a guy on the first date in the past. Does that make her testimony now of, no, that would be crude, that would be, he's objectifying me, he just sees me as a toy to fuck. Does that make it true or does it make it false? In my experience, what's worked on her is much more authoritative than what she says works on her. But there are girls who, after having had those experiences, now they wouldn't work on her so well because she's seen all the tricks, right? She has heard all the same things from all the guys. And now she knows maybe not to believe what some men tell her. We're assuming you're being honest and sincere, but because she has been in those experiences, now she's extra defensive towards maybe certain personalities, certain types of humor, certain ways of being, certain looks. And the question of honesty is a very important one because women do protect their reputation. We just know, we can get into the debate, but we know that a man who sleeps with a lot of women, for the most part, is congratulated. And a woman who sleeps with a lot of men is maybe not seen in such a good light. Whether this is morally right or morally wrong is not the debate. The debate is, do women change their answers to this question because they don't want to come off in a certain way. Besides the honesty question, and for me, one of the most fundamental questions here is the art of seduction one that is where you get the woman, where you conquer her, where you seduce her? Are you getting her, right? Or are you working together? But even if you're working together, is it like a dance where you're leading and she's following, but because she's following your lead, she's wanting you to lead and is giving you hints of where to lead. And you can see based on her reactions if she's happy with the direction you're going and the way you're stepping and the way you're dancing and the way you're moving and talking, or is she not? And then you adjust yourself to that. My answer, from my experience and from talking to women and having their honest testimony, from what I saw was their honest testimony, because I saw it match with reality, and I can tell when someone's bullshitting me. The art of seduction is one of conquest, but it is an art where the woman wants to be conquered. But nonetheless, it is an art of conquest because the man is attempting to get something that the woman is protecting. Now, there is a biological argument of, well, if this woman gets pregnant, she's going to have to nurse this baby for 9 months and raise it for 18 years. I think that argument has validity and that it is something that should be considered when the woman is deciding who she sleeps with. And it has a societal aspect, probably because of this biological reality of because who gets access to her womb is going to have such a long-term effect on her lives and the lives of those around them. Thereby, people are going to form society in small or large ways. In my opinion, most of society is actually based off of the sexual dynamics of men and women. And we are going to form opinions on how society works and judge people based on their mate choices. It's not just women choosing men as well. You can judge a man based on the type of women that he sleeps with, that he dates. Does he date classy women? Does he date beautiful women? Is there a difference between a man who gets just cute girls, normal girls, or a man who can seduce a world-class beauty that every other man wants? There is a degree of quality in this question as well. But it is still an art of conquest. Because for some of those reasons, and maybe more, the woman is choosing who she sleeps with. If that wasn't the case, every woman would sleep with every man she found attractive. And even the most promiscuous woman does not do that. That would be impossible. She would be constantly in her bedroom, okay? And she would have 100 babies. That would be impossible. Math, Hector. You got the point, okay? She is choosing. And the man is putting himself forth to be chosen. And to a certain extent, he's going to have to compete, maybe not directly with the other men who are offering themselves, but indirectly because there are other men offering themselves. Now, she wants it. We're assuming she's a heterosexual woman who's attracted to men, okay? So she does want the dick. She does want to have sex. She does want romance. She does want a relationship. But because of societal, biological reasons, she needs to choose well. Now, what makes it conquest, however, right? That seems like a violent word. Why is it that she is on the defensive and the man overrides her defenses or conquers her? Well, what changes this from, say, a fight, which is an art of conquest, but is an art of physically subduing someone? The man seducing a woman is an art of conquest, an art of loving conquest, because he is removing the reasons why she should not sleep with him and compelling her with the reasons why she should. Now, it isn't maybe going down like a sale where he's listing his attributes and showing his bank account or whipping out his dick to show his size, right? He's demonstrating his worth and eliminating objections through the way that he speaks and the way that he behaves and the way that he responds to her questions and the way that he listens to her and the way that he is actively or passively demonstrating the qualities that she happens to want. And because there is a conversation there, and there is a you watching each other and dancing with your words and your body language, there is a reactive element as well, where the woman starts to smile more at this question and this answer, or starts to maybe get distracted or maybe bored with this answer and this question. And the man, if he's dancing well, is going to be adjusting. And the woman as well needs to play her part. She is playing the conquered and the defensive role, but she is wanting him to come further, but she is testing him. Because if she didn't test him, again, every man would get in. She is slowly figuring out through her questions and through her behaviors and seeing his reactions to those, is he who he says he is? And who is he? And so she has these requirements and these desires, and the man is demonstrating why he fits those and why he doesn't fit the negative aspects that would make her not like him. So it is a playful conquest where the woman wants to be conquered, she wants to be convinced, she wants to be seduced. But the man, for the most part, is the active, assertive, pushing, leading energy that is taking them towards the bedroom. There is a reason why our language reflects this. I got laid. I got her. I seduced her. I fucked her. It can sometimes be very toxic in the way that we talk about it, and sometimes it can be very beautiful and artistic and funny. Nevertheless, it is an art of conquest. So, because it is an art of conquest, I think that the highest authority is a man who knows women. And a man proves he knows women because he has personal success with women. He has a track record of success with women. Maybe not all women. He doesn't know every personality, can't get every woman. But he's pretty damn good enough to give you a pretty good guideline to how to get women. But it requires him to be good at explaining. So there's an art to this. And that's why my first question was, does every good player make a good coach? No. And sometimes the best coaches, they weren't all that stellar of players. They're very good on the conceptual level and the strategic level, but they're not so good on the actual practical level. So a woman, she may be a good player because she is a player. She is being seduced, but she is not necessarily a good coach. She doesn't know why what worked. The good basketball player just says, dribble the ball, do this drill and do that. The good coach can say, this is your problem. You're moving in this way. You're dancing in this way. You're drawing in this way, painting in this way. You need to try this color. You need to try this. He can see what works and what doesn't and plan it 10 steps ahead. And he's had many different players that he has brought to success. Now, does any of this invalidate a woman? Couldn't a lesbian be a teacher? Well, then you have to ask the question, does her experience of being a woman seducing women, if her being a woman gives her some sort of authority, some sort of insight into being a woman, then that means being a woman gives you something unique. Okay, let's give that, let's concede that point. But then, does her being a woman seducing other women make her ability to teach you, a man, how to get women? Does the experience of other women being seduced by her, is it different? I would say it might be, because part of the reason why there is an art of conquest and an art of screening and an art of questioning and an art of playing is that there are more consequences to a man seducing a woman. A woman is not going to make another woman pregnant, but you are. And a woman dating another woman isn't as judged as a woman being with a man. We come only to the last question of, does her being a woman actually uniquely give her some insight into how a woman works? I think it does. I will grant it that. She does have an inside knowledge. She has some insider trading knowledge on how she thinks and feels, but it requires her to be very self-aware. It requires her also to be honest. And it requires her to speak about what has actually worked on her, what has actually worked on her friends. Not what she thinks she should say, or what sounds good, or what doesn't make her look promiscuous, or what doesn't make her look cheap, and what is maybe not very classy to say. She needs to be able to speak those truths without the fear of how others will see her. Now, she can speak to what she wants in the future, and maybe her desires have changed now, and that's why we have the French fries comment as well. You may come home with those French fries and she wanted ice cream instead. Yeah, they look good. Maybe I didn't want them. Maybe I'll have one right now, right? But I'd really like some ice cream. But now that I have food in front of me, I am hungry. So there's a change there. She wasn't hungry before, brought home the fries, don't like the fries, have fun, but I want ice cream. So a context can change how she feels and she wants something different. So there's some complexity here. But does her being a woman make her have unique insight? Yes, but she must be self-aware. However, the most knowledgeable person to teach a man is going to be a man who is good with women. If you want the insight of a woman, she needs to be honest. And furthermore, for both the man and the woman, and this is the most important part, that pretty much overrides everything that I've said in this video. Does it work? Does it work for you? Does this advice actually work and give you more sex, a relationship, a marriage, a family, a healthy outlook on love, a healthy outlook on sex, more happiness? Does the advice of that person actually help you? Not that it makes you feel good, because a lot of times advice that makes us feel good, or advice that sounds wise, or advice that sounds knowledgeable, because people can be persuasive but be full of shit. Does the advice actually give you results? And in the end, that's the most important answer. Does it give you results? So, do you ask women, should you ask women for dating advice on how to get women? I don't care if you're a man or a woman. Does it fucking work? But from my experience, it would be better for you to ask a man who is good with women. Now, you'll never know for sure unless you see this man with women if he is actually good with women. So the ultimate test is very simply, does it work? So you can ask whoever the fuck you want. But I think you should go to the men who teach you things that work, who teach you principles and behaviors and philosophies that work. If a woman can give you those things, then more power to you. She might have a very unique perspective and insight that a man can't give because he doesn't know what it's like to be a woman. But a man who's fucked a lot of pussies and had a lot of girlfriends probably has a pretty good idea of what women like because he's seen it in reality. He's not seeing what women say they want, he's seeing for himself in real time what women want, whether it's politically correct or not. So, should you ask women for advice? If it works, it works, but I'd say go with a man who just gets a lot of women. It's probably your best bet. Cool. Hector Castillo, Poppy from girlschase.com. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, follow me on Instagram. I'll see you very soon. Ciao.